Creating simple formulas. For many Excel users, writing formulas, creating formulas, one of the most common thing they do in Excel. Now, in this worksheet called formulas in our file, module 3, creating formulas and functions, we need some formula in cell B4 and C4 in D4, probably in H2 or I2, H3, I3. Now, formulas many times are simple, very straightforward, but in Excel, this have a different concept. Now, if that's the only thing that you have been told that I need profits here, and that is the only thing that you have been told to do, you will start something like 120 minus 100. And when you press enter, it won't work. But you do the same thing in a calculator, it will start. Now, in Excel, typically the formulas are written based on the location, and that means the content of that location. Now, one way to state that, one way to write it is we want to say B4 is equal to whatever is in B2 minus whatever is in B3. Now, we won't start by B4 is equal to because we are already in B4. So I won't start B4. I'm already in B4. I'll start with B4 is already there, equal to. So in Excel, formulas start with equal sign. B4 is equal to whatever is in B2 minus whatever is in B3. And you press enter, you'll get the answer. Another way to do it, B4 is equal to, you can use the up arrow key, whatever is in B2 minus whatever is in B3, press enter, same answer. The third way to type it is B4 is equal to, with the mouse, point and click B2 minus point and click B3. Press enter, you'll get the same answer. And because they are based on a location, it opens the opportunity that tomorrow, if my overhead changed or sales changed, I don't have to worry about the profits here. It updates automatically because it is taking the number from that particular location. Now B4, it doesn't care what the profit is. It says, okay, whatever is there in B2, I'll take it. Whatever is there in B3, I'll take it. I'll subtract them. Now I want to calculate the total here of all these numbers here. What do? I simply press equal B2 plus C2 plus D2. And of course I can complete it, but I'm not going to do that because I may have 6 months here. But how about if I had 12 months over here? I don't want to keep on tapping or writing B2, C2, D2, E2 and stuff like this. And I always have a nagging feeling that I might have missed something, although I will still get the right answer, but this is not the right way to do it. Instead, in Excel, we got formulas here, a built-in function. In the formulas tab, we got tons of them. There are more than 450 of them. The most common and basic function in Excel is called sum, and you will find that on the home tab as well. In the editing group, you have AutoSum here. Maybe I would like to use AutoSum here. I can simply click on AutoSum, or you can start typing equal sum. If you press S, you will see all the functions starting with S, and you can filter it down by pressing U or by pressing M. In order to activate the function, you press the tab key on the keyboard or double click on the function that you would like to use. So I double click here, sum. What are the numbers that I want to use? I can select from G2 to B2, or you can select from B2 to G2 in either direction. Doesn't make any difference. You select all these numbers here, press enter, get the answer. We want to calculate the average as well. So I know average is total divided by number. So I press enter, I'll get an answer here. How do I know this 1505 is right? I select all these sales numbers. Remember, at the very bottom in the status bar, you will see all those 6 major indications. Sum is there, average is there. I know my number is right. If you don't see all 6 of them, simply right click anywhere on the empty space in the status bar and activate all of them. So I got a sum here, I got a sum here, I got an average here. So in Excel, it's very common to type the cell, give the address as a cell, or write formulas uh, based on the sum or some other functions that we may consider. So many times typing simple cell addresses are easy. That's what you do when you have a smaller number of, when you have smaller references. Whether you use any of the technique here, we see all of those. Writing formulas is very important when you work on Excel. We are looking at the worksheet, copy formulas in our file, module 3, creating formulas and functions. We now have written the formulas in cell P4, in cell H2 and I2. Now, if you select a cell, you can see that whether it's a cell, it's a number or a text or a result of a formula in the formula tab. Now in this worksheet, I would like to do the same thing for cell C4, D4, E4, F4, G4, and probably for H3 and H4. Do I need to go back and do the same thing over here? Probably no. In Excel, remember, we type formula only once and then we copy that. So Excel says, in other words, what we are doing here is we are subtracting the two cells above it. Do I want to do the same thing over here? Yes, I do. Do I want to do the same thing over here as well? Yes, I do. Over here, we are taking a sum of the 6 cells on the left. Do I want to do the same thing here? Yes, I do. So we can simply copy those cells, copy the formula. So when we copy the formula, Excel does what we want Excel to do. Excel will automatically copy the references. It's not only copying the formula, but it is copying those references and making it as a relative reference. Now, when we copy this formula, we can simply copy this formula by dragging it using the autofill. We can simply drag it and move it here. And if I leave the mouse here, Excel will automatically change the references for us. And Excel says, okay, I see what you're doing here. I see you're subtracting B2 minus B3. Let me do this for you over in cell C4. And I double click, it says C2 minus C3. And that's what we want you to do. Do I want to do the same thing over here, here? Yes. So we simply drag it to the right. Excel automatically changes those cell references for us, making it a relative reference. I have these sums and average here. Do I want to do the same thing at the bottom? Yes, I do. And Excel will automatically change the references for us. These are called relative references. Now, it's very common in Excel that we type formula only once and we can copy that formula many cell rightward, many cell leftward, many cell downward, and it saves a lot of time. In this worksheet called YTD and percentage increase in our file, module 3, creating formulas and functions, a relative simple formula, although which can be a little tricky to understand here, that we want to calculate or we want to come up with the year-to-date profits here. Now, this business is started on January here. We got these profits here for the month of January. What will be our year-to-date profit? So in B5, our year-to-date profit will be the same number as we see above it because there is no December. So our year-to-date profit will be equal to whatever is in B4. We will just take it as year-to-date profit. So equal B4 and we get the answer. I can type 20, but later, if my sales or overhead figure changes, my year-to-date profit number will be incorrect. So we don't have to worry about it now because it will automatically pick up the value in the cell B4. Now, do I want to do the same thing in C5? No, because in cell C5, my year-to-date profit will be the year-to-date profits of January and the profits of February. So what do? I'll simply go here and press equal to whatever is my year-to-date profit in January plus whatever my February month profit is. Just add those two cells and give me an answer, 50. Do I want to do the same thing in March, April, May, and June? Yes, I do. So I simply copy this towards the right and leave the mouse. We get an answer here. Now, what is Excel doing here? Excel is simply sees the trend here. Okay, I see what you're doing. Let me do that for you. And Excel has also already given us the answer here. So in Excel, we type formula only once, and then Excel sees the relative references and will give us the answer. We may also want to calculate the percentage increase here. Now, my January month profit was 20. My February month profit was 30. If my profit grew from 20 to 30, how much percentage did it increase? 50%, because 50% of 20 is 10. So 10 plus 20 is 30. So my profit grew from 20 to 30 by 50% in the month of February. So my percentage increase in the month of January was, of course, because we don't have December, so it will not be applicable. But for the month of February, it will be calculated by how much? Equal to this minus this divided by this. And I press enter, I'll get 2900%. Well, this cell is automatically formatted as a percentage. So you see those percentages because we need the percentage increase. But why I'm getting a 2900%? This is wrong. Didn't I should be getting a 50% here? What happened here? Remember, if you go back and learn about these rules for mathematical calculation in your maybe class 4th or 5th, this rule is called BODMAS, which says bracket, let me type it in, called BODMAS. And it says what? It says first you open the bracket, then you bracket open, divide, multiply, add, and then subtract. Now, Excel also follows the same principle. To your left in cell A8 and below, I've mentioned the rules of calculation in Excel. So when you put in a parentheses, so parentheses are solved first in Excel. So whatever you put in the parentheses will be solved first. Then Excel will solve the power 2 to the power 20, 1 to the power 5. Then it will multiply, then it will divide, then it will add, and then it will subtract. So what is happening here? It is dividing first, 30 divided by 30, 1. And then it is subtracting. But what do we want it to do? We want to subtract it first. So we put that in parentheses. And whatever the result is, then you divide it by B4. And you press enter, you get 50%. So remember, parentheses are very important. If you put those parentheses in the wrong place, you will get a wrong answer. If you don't put the parentheses at all, you may get a wrong answer. So parentheses are very important to put it in the right place at the right time. So, and in Excel, again, we type formula only once and then we copy that. And we type the formula here and then we can copy it over here. Why it is growing to 0%? Because our March month profit was 50, April is also 50. So in Excel, writing formulas is the basic thing you need to follow, the basic rule of thumb, how the calculations happens, and also take care of the parentheses.